Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. We are pleased to be here with Jim Pomposelli. Jim, thank you so much for being on the show.
Appreciate the invite.
Excellent. Now, Jim, you are in the Chicagoland market, if I've got that correct, and you are a former treasurer and board member of the Lincoln Park Chamber of Commerce and the Home Builder Association. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That is awesome. So I know that you've been around the block in the Chicagoland market, so we are really looking forward to this episode with you. So before we dive into the nitty gritty, if you could just kind of give us your background, how did you get into lending and how did you get to where you are today?
Tried a couple startups on my own, and ultimately came to a point where, between startups and trading floors, corporate America was not going to happen. So I'm like, people need homes. So I gave this a shot starting out in 2010. Thought I was getting in at the bottom of the mortgage market. Got 2 more years of bottom. And here we are.
Fantastic. That's amazing. So one of the reasons that we reached out to you is because of your fantastic ranking on Google. So I wanted to start and kind of open up the episode with just that story. How did you get ranked on the front page of Google and what type of results do you see as a result of that?
Yeah. So it is kind of a funny story. It was 2011, and I was had finished up with a client. Everything had gone well, and she's like, "Well, do you have a Yelp page? I'll give you a review." And I'm like, "I don't, but I can do that." So literally put up a Yelp page, and then kind of out of like the first 5 years or so, it's kind of scattered. I'd get reviews on Yelp. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, Google local page, not hard to do. And so put that up as well. But where this really started to click is probably similar with a lot of folks who have success is when you turn, it into a process.
That's right.
So at this point, it's very much a process and a trackable one as well. So that just on my purchase transactions, refis are a bit too transactional. But basically, what I'll do is find out when the folks move in, and then 30 days after close, I'll send them over. I use Drizzly to send over a bottle of champagne. Kind of
Hmm.
congratulations. It's a nice little gift to say thank you. But as soon as the champagne lands, 1 week later comes out the first request to do a testimonial for me, either on Yelp or on Google. And basically, I have a templated email. It goes out. So all they have to do is click a button. The interesting part comes in is I'll do up to 5 requests, kind of
Yep.
5 weeks in a row. And so it's a fine line between, folks kind of miss it, forget, and them filing a restraining order. So as far as I could tell, it seems to be kind of the right, and I track it. I track every time I send out the request. I track when the champagne lands. I kind of track everything so that, once I hit the 5 marker, I call it off and I get pretty good results. Probably depending on the month, somewhere between 50 and 75% of my buyers will post up a review. And then once you get the reviews up, I do that and I post, kind of closing pictures, happy borrowers with their champagne. And that, gets you a lot of traction.
Yeah. That is amazing. And you're at 104 5-star ratings and reviews on Google. So obviously the process is working.
Yep.
Um, Now I'm interested because we'll dive into the Google side of things for sure, but I'm interested in the Yelp side of things because people either love or hate Yelp, various business practices, all that kind of things. Do you see results coming from your Yelp page and the reviews that you've built over there?
I think it's fair to say everyone hates Yelp. It's some people have success with it and some people don't.
I
um, everyone hates Yelp. But I think it's just and I think it's like with a lot of things you do in marketing, it's just a persistent story. So I think I've got upwards of 150 reviews up there, but they filtered out in another like 100 plus reviews. So I
Yeah.
have 250 up there, and they've filtered out 100. You just keep going at it. Now, at one point, I think it was probably 3 or 4 years ago, they literally went through every mortgage person in Chicago that I could tell and hacked off 40% of their reviews. Just
Wow.
hacked them because you're in the mortgage business. Because, they're getting a sense, which is true, that they're self-directed. They're not wrong. But then I noticed like a lot of my peer group in the Chicagoland area stopped posting them, and
Yeah.
I just kept pecking away at it. So, you do something for 12 years and ultimately it pays off. And the thing is for all the reasons that people hate Yelp, kind of the arbitrariness of it. Like literally, I just got a 1-star review because of a 5-minute conversation I had with somebody,
Mm.
because they didn't want to give me their email, like basic contact information. And they won't take that down. But for all the reasons that we struggle with it is the reason Google loves it, and
Yeah.
Google loves Yelp, and that's the bottom line. And you do what makes Google happy.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And, to speak to that 1-star review because somebody called in and didn't hear what they liked about their credit score, we see a ton of that stuff. And we find that the occasional 1-star review or bad review actually makes it more believable. Some people will come and see 105-star ratings and reviews. They must be paying somebody in India to do this for them or whatever it is. So it does add a little bit of just credibility that they are all real ratings and reviews.
Well, except for the 50 some odd reviews my mom put up there, but she loves me.
Well, we won't go down that route, and good for her for figuring that out because I know there's a lot of shady SEO companies that are trying to figure that out, and they haven't got it yet.
Mhm.
So I'm interested when you are going through the process with your clients, do you queue them up ahead of time that you're going to be asking for the rating and review after the transaction and letting them know how important it is?
I really don't, but what I found is I think generally, people have at that point had a good experience, so they're open to it, and they just got the champagne, they just got the gift, so that's kind of part of the process. I, you know, People Google everybody. If you're
Yes.
going on a date, you Google them. If you're going to a business meeting, you Google them. So I don't. It's not a really big ask. I think the only hard part about it for folks is kind of the time,
Mhm.
but that's why I'll send over the emails I send over. Really, just like click the link. That's all you
Yep.
got to do.
Yep, 100%. And we have a concierge service where we're actually calling out to the database, and we have a script that says, "Hey, we note here on your file that we had a 5-star experience with you, but we haven't seen that show up on our Google profile yet. If I send you a text message, would you be willing to go through the process with me?" And actually doing the ask over the phone has also helped generate significant reviews for some of our clients. So that may also help as well. But we've noticed that just text messaging, in addition to the email going out with the link, just like you said, right to the profile, may also help boost those ratings and reviews as well.
I agree.
Now, getting to the other side of it, because I think one of the main reasons why everybody wants to get 5-star reviews on their profile is to get the phone to ring.
Hmm.
Sell more referral partners, but also sell more clients. So, with you being ranked very well in the Chicago marketplace and over 105-star ratings and reviews showing up on your profile, how does that translate into business for you?
From a lead standpoint, it's probably a good minimally 15%, sometimes upside to 20% on the lead standpoint. And that's kind of maybe it's a little lower when you actually come to close transactions, but I track that as well, and it's pretty. This is not something where I'm breaking even with my time and treasure. So it's really it's definitely worthwhile. It's like anything you do with the internet where you get your share of folks who are a little cuckoo and 5 a.m. emails and whatever have you, but it seems to be pretty effective.
Yeah. So now when you say 15 to 20%, that's 15 to 20% of the people that call in will actually fund?
um no, it's probably going to be a lower percentage than that. Yeah, it's probably more like 5% or something like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's a
So
lot
we
lower on the fun side. It's standard kind of lead funnel metrics.
So we see between 5 and 10%. Some guys on process will be crushing it, will be higher than that. But we find about 10%. But if we compare those to, say, a purchased lead from Zillow or
Oh,
Boomtown, totally different. Would you agree
totally.
with that?
Oh, completely. I way back in the day, I did Zillow kind of realtor based leads, and I found the folks were really just they were just looking for a realtor,
Yep.
and having a lender call them really, I found that my yield on that was awful. But these folks are truly looking for lenders. There's a big portion of particularly your first time home buyers, younger millennials and the new Gen Z who, you know, I don't necessarily go by this, but they, would rather they pick somebody on a review versus a referral from a friend. It's
Yep.
just how the culture works. And so it may not be how I do things, but it's a place I need to be. I mean, we all need to be there.
Yep, 100%. I often say what it does is it turns Google into your third best referral partner. You've got your database, you've got your referral partners, and then, there's more people arguably every day asking Google who they should be doing business with than they are asking realtors or friends and family. So and only more so as time goes on.
Mhm.
So, do you have a rough idea, Jim, with your tracking, like how many phone calls you get per month by being ranked on Google? Do you have a rough idea?
Um, I'd say it's a minimally kind of 5 to 7 m- leads per month. Okay. And that's somebody who's verifiable where I get contact information. Like sometimes stuff just shows up and they don't even reply. This is people that I can actually have some touch base with them, contact, and some type of they're a legitimate lead that's worth putting in my lead tracker.
Got it. And so not necessarily applications taken, but like a good solid lead that's come
Yeah.
in as a result
There's
of referrals.
something there.
Okay, got it. And then around a 5 to 10% closing ratio on those leads that come in.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, when it comes to referrals from past clients and realtors that are looking you up, do you also find people are finding out about you in other ways, Googling your business and then being like, whoa, 100 reviews. This is amazing. I'm going to give Jim a call. Do you think it helps on that side of the business as well?
It always does. I mean, if you get somebody in who's realtor referred, you know, uh, people are always skeptical. They're kind of always looking for the next best thing. So it's kind of a nice overlay on everything I do.
Yep.
Whether I'm trying to build a new realtor relationship or whether I'm, got a referral from a contact or even past client, it always helps. Because it's just basically it's my brand.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And so Google's great and all those ratings and reviews, but for our listeners who are primarily loan officers, where do you find you get the majority of the rest of your business from?
Um, Probably 40% realtor referred, another 30% kind of past clients, past client referrals. Um, and then, kind of 5% other like Lincoln Park Chamber of Commerce, things like
Very cool. That is awesome. And you've been very well networked in the marketplace for a long time. Do you have a strategy for keeping in touch with all of the connections that you have and kind of like regular touch base, or is it just they remember you and they send you deals?
that. Attention spans seem shrinking every year. And we're all kind of just looking what's in front of us. So, I programmatically, it's kind of interesting. I will probably I have a larger sphere of kind of realtor contacts that I will probably one way or another see on a quarterly basis. But part of that quarterly basis is also, it may take, you know, 3 or 4 reach outs just to set up the meeting. And, honestly, I'm not having like at this point of the year, I'm not having necessarily a lot of success with, I get meetings scheduled and then they get canceled or But then again, I've got my fair share of reaching out for somebody for a meeting, and then a lead comes in. Because as you know, it's all about being top of mind.
100%. And I think, being consistent with it and making sure that you're just consistently connecting with people and referring people as well. I mean, the leads that you get from Google, you mentioned first-time homebuyers and a lot of really good leads for your referral partners. I'm assuming you're taking those leads from Google and then also leveraging those into referral relationships. Is that
Yeah,
right?
it's fantastic for that because quite often they'll see me first before they actually talk to a realtor.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're finding that more so now that rates have risen. There's a lot of people that want to make sure that they've got their finances in order before they reach out to a realtor, before they kind of jump in. So we're seeing more traffic from Google on people doing their research. And then obviously, the best way to get a realtor referral partner is to bring them a pre-qualified buyer. So
Yes, yes, that always
excellent.
works.
So that's awesome. Okay, Jim, thank you for being so generous with your time and congratulations on building such an incredible business and over 100 five-star ratings and reviews. One of the things that I was really interested in today's episode was just like a rough idea, like from you being ranked in a pocket of the Chicago marketplace, which I'd like to talk to you about.
Mhm.
Do you find you would it be fair to say you do a deal a month
A deal a month, from
from
online.
Google?
Oh, 1 to 2. Yeah, minimally a deal.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. And that is fantastic. So again, congratulations. Now, for all of our listeners that would like to see your great content or learn more about you, where do people go to find out more about you?
We just Google my name.
Ah,
It's Jim Pomposelli Mortgage, and you will find me. It's easy to find.
that is awesome. Well,
That's
we
kind of
will.
the point, right?
Yep. We'll put a you should or let me Google that for you link in the
Yeah.
podcast description for everybody. So again, Jim, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate your time.